day everyone, my name is Reezl Ann D Alanunay from Section Charlie, and today's topic is all about the Module 1 with Special Criminal Investigation, so the basic concept. So what is criminal investigation? Criminal investigation is an art that deals with his identity and location of the offender and prove his guilt in criminal proceeding. So criminal investigation is an art based on institution, felicity, or inspiration by chance and a science based on etiquette, professional preparation, and abundance of certain qualities. So, a special crime investigation deals with the study of major crimes based on application of special investigative techniques. It is also the study concentrates more on physical evidence. It collections, handling, identification, and preservation in coordination with the various criminalists in a crime laboratory. So, special crime investigation involves close relationship between the investigator in the field and investigator in the laboratory, the criminalist. So, duty of criminal investigator. So, first establish that in the fact a crime was committed under the law. Second, identify the apprehend of suspect. Third, to recover stolen property. And fourth, to assist the state of prosecuting the party charged with the offense. So, job of the criminal investigator is to discover whether or not an offense has been committed under the law. And number 2 is after determining what a specific offense has been committed, he must discover how, when, where, why, what offense was committed. So, methods of identification of criminals. Criminals are identified through the following. 1 is confession and admission. 2nd, statement of witnesses. 3rd, circumstantial evidence. 4th, associative evidence. So, a confession, what is confession? So, confession, this is an express acknowledgement by accused in criminal cases of the truth of his guilt as to crime charge or some of the essential part thereof. There is no implied confession for its positive and direct acknowledgement of guilt. It is a best means of identifying criminals. So there are rules and confessions. Confessions need not to be in writing. Confession may be written in language which that accused does not speak. And then, confession must be freely and voluntarily made. So methods of identification made by eyewitnesses. First, verbal description. Second, photographic files. Third, general photographs. Fourth, artist assistants or composite sketches. And fifth is the police line up selecting the suspect from the group of innocent person to eliminate the power of suggestion as factor of identification. So what is cartography? The art of sketching the image of person of the art or making a map. So, general principles of criminal investigation. In the performance of his duties, the investigator must seek to establish the 6 cardinal points of investigation, namely what specific offense has been committed, how the offense was committed, who committed it, where the offense was committed, and then when it was committed and why it was committed. So, the process of criminal investigation. So, the process of criminal investigation, number 1 is preliminary investigation, followed up investigation, and third is final investigation. So, tools of an investigator in gathering facts. First, of course, is the information. Second is the interrogation and interview, and then instrumentation. Two general classification of sources of information. First is open sources, and then second, closed sources. Overt intelligence. What is overt intelligence? It is the gathering of information of documents procured openly without regard as to whether the subject or a target become knowledgeable of the purpose. So, covert intelligence. It is the secret procurement of information which is obtained without the knowledge of the person or person safeguarding vital and intelligence interests. So, person as sources of information. First, we have informant net. What is informant net? It is a controlled group of people who work through the direction of the agent handler. The informant's principals are caught to supply the agent handler directly or indirectly with intel information. So, informants or asset. People selected as sources of information. It could be voluntary or in consideration of a price. So, informant and informer. Nana siya duo ka classification. So, types of informant. First is criminal informant. Second is confidential informant. Third is voluntary informant. Fourth is special informant. And fifth is anonymous informant. So, subtype of informant. We have two types. It is incidental informant and recruited informant. Categories of recruited informant. First, we have spontaneous or automatic informant. And second, ordinary run of he-male informant. And third is special employee. So, informant recruitment phases. First, we of course, selection. Second, investigation. And fourth one is the testing. Interview and interrogation. First, interview defined. Importance of the interview and the person interviewed. Consider, dapat meron siyang his ability to observe, his ability to remember, his ability to narrate, and his mental weakness because of his stupidity and infancy. Okay, so four is the interviewer's personal traits. The fifth is planning the interview. 6, preparation of the interview. 7, time, place, and surrounding circumstances. 8 is opening interview. 9 is the body of the interview, and to be followed by number 10, questioning. So, after questioning, it will be followed by closing. The interviewer should always the door open for our interview. Don't forget to say thank you after the interview. So, philosophy of interview and interrogation. The right of officer asking the right question in right manner at the right time and at the right place will get the right answer. So, interrogation in general. So, first, interrogation defined. Second, purpose of interrogation. Third is preliminary conduct. Fourth is the interrogation room. Interrogation, then to be followed by interrogation techniques. So, criminal interrogation system. Types of offenders and approaches to be used in dealing with them. First is the emotional offenders have a greater sense of morality. They easily feel remorse over what they have done. The best approach of interrogating this type of offender is the sympathetic approach. And then the non-emotional offenders normally do not feel any guilt, so the best way to interrogate them is through the factual analysis approach, that is by reasoning with the subject and letting him know that his guilt has already been or will soon be established. So, second is interrogation of suspect whose guilt is defined or reasonably certain. Third one is the interrogation of suspect whose guilt is uncertain. Fourth one is the general suggestion regarding the interrogation of criminal suspect. Fifth one is the interrogational witnesses of other prospective informants. So, development of control of informants. First, we have confidential informants defined. Then, need for informants. And then to be followed by where to find criminal informants and whom to develop. So we have legitimate persons and criminals. So number 4 is how to develop confidential informants. So we have constant need, evaluation of individual being considered as a possible informant, basic consideration, plan interview as type of approach, and so on. So the 5th one is the use of informants. So the use of informants, maximum benefits, designate executive, okay, and so on and so forth. So undercover investigation. Undercover investigation does have preparation for undercover work should be sufficiently through to preclude compromise and to minimize dangers to undercover operative to ensure the ultimate success of investigation. Undercover investigation should not be attempted until the investigative techniques have failed or are deemed impractical. Third is the factor to consider before undercover investigation is initiated. So first we have the exact result desired, jurisdiction, the importance of the investigation, available planning and information, and availability of qualified personnel, the equipment and the preparation if necessary, the danger of the investigator involved. So number 4 is the general and specific qualification. Undercover works as selective assignment requires the investigator possess in addition to certain general qualification, a specific qualification required in a type of investigation being conducted. So first we have general qualification and then to be followed by a specific qualification. So 5th is the authority to undercover operation must be from the top officer of the organization. For this requires coordination with the other agencies. 6 is the fewest number of the person must know the undercover operation. 7th, the background of the cover story regarding the assumed identity of the undercover operative must be such that he can easily win the confidence of the suspect of organization sought to be infiltrated and should seldom be wholly fictitious. 8 is the badge and credentials must never be carried. And 9, a weapon should only be carried if it is consistent with the background story. 10, provide safe communication system between the undercover agent and headquarters, relaying informations of instructions. 11, arrangement for drops and safe houses must be made, and if necessary, the undercover operative himself may be placed under surveillance. Then, 12, the undercover operative must never pose as a criminal unless no other approach or appears inadequate. 13, the role of the undercover operative is to gather information or evidence against the suspects or organization, never to instigate the commission of a crime. 14, plans for operation must provide action or alternatives in case undercover is arrested. 15, reminders taught the undercover operative must act as natural as possible. Then do not overplay the part. Excuse me. Do not indulge in any activity which is not in conformity with the assumed of identity. Do not make notes unless they are to be mailed or passed immediately. Use codes and never place return address in letters and envelopes. Then do not use intoxicants except to play the part. And then limit association with women to the necessary to play the part. Okay, surveillance. In general, investigation, a certain case of point is reached when the investigator sometimes finds it's difficult to secure leads through questioning of the complainant and witnesses. In such situation, the investigator has to go to field to locate the criminal or he is known to study his habit, movements, possible compliance, and commission of the crime. So, second is the definition, and the third is the objectives of the surveillance. Fourth is shadowing or tailing. And then, fifth is the tactics. Sixth is the note. 7 is roping or undercover work. And number 8 is arrest or undercover agent. Arrest of undercover agent, rather. 9 is the preparation of supervision of the district surveillance. So, must be familiar participating operative with the case. And then, choose proper equipment. Equipment include motor vehicles, boat, binoculars, camera, radio, and etc. So, standard methods of recording investigative data. First is photograph. Second is sketching crime scene. Third is written notes, what you have seen or observed. Fourth is developing or lifting of fingerprints found of the crime scene. Then, fifth is the gathering physical evidence, to be followed by plaster cast, followed tape recording of sounds, videotape recording of object, and written statement of subjects and witnesses. So, scientific examination of real evidence. First, you have a crime scene search, processing, and securing a crime scene. And then, protecting the crime scene and the evidence. Investigator's notebook has the first we have the purpose, considering the mass of the details and the number of cases, which is some instances of the investigator is handling. Then to be followed by recording notes. The data of the investigation should be recorded in a complete, accurate, and legible fashion so that the event of another investigator is required to assume that responsibility for the investigation can make intelligent use of the notebook. And then, custodial investigation interrogation. So, it is skillful questioning of the suspect, of the hostile witness, to indulge information on the crime being investigated. It must be remembered, however, that the police investigators cannot learn proper interrogation merely by reading books. The success of the interrogation depends on its legality, topic, physical insight, and experience. So, that would be all for Module 1. Thank you for listening. God bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye.